السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. ربنا افرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين. والحمد لله رب العالمين. We are studying the chronologically seventh revealed chapter of the Qur'an. It's very early, the third year of the revelation or prophetic mission. We mentioned this on various occasions. Now, just refresh our mind that the first verses revealed, or the chapters or verses revealed to the prophet or to humankind to construct our worldview. What we need to construct our worldview about is first the nature of this creation. What is this? The nature of this creation. We mentioned last week, I remember, that the first audience of the revelation and also the people now are aware that mostly even they deny, but still they are aware that this universe needs a creator. Put it in a very simple form. So the Quran, the revelation, wasn't really emphasizing on believing God as the creator. The first revealed verses were emphasizing on the nature of this creation, because although we may think or believe or conclude that the universe has been created, but the creator and the universe is not directly connected with each other in our minds. So the creator is there, he created it, and my life in the universe is independent. I am in contact with what is created by God, but I am not in contact with God, the creator. That is the main problem that we believers or not believers suffer from. We put ourselves in connection with the universe, but we say, or not claim really, we may be convinced about it, mostly we are, that the universe is created by God, but I am in contact with the universe, not with the creator, because we don't use our human qualities, human senses, in order to understand the source of their existence and connect the human senses to their creator and act on this understanding. And the universe is just a training field. It's just a training field, or the means, nothing more than a means. For example, when you get in touch with something, let's say today, there was a beautiful bird singing in the backyard of the house where I live. I wanted to see the bird, which kind of bird is so beautifully singing. I couldn't see it, it was hiding inside the big tree. So anyway, when I wanted to see the bird, but in fact, whether I did or not is another matter, what I was supposed to do was to use the bird and the singing or the song of the bird in order to realize and get in touch with the creator of this bird and its ability to sing, so that I will be pleased with the creator, not I will be pleased with the backyard and the tree and the bird. These are means, these are vehicles. We should know that. So the Quran, or the speech of God or instruction of God, emphasizes on the nature of this creation. The best example of this, actually most of the, if not all, of the first revealed verses are about the nature of the creation. What is that? Whether they can sustain their existence by themselves, whether they are permanent, whether we can really trust them, we can really trust the objects themselves. This kind of subjects, what is generally taken and understood by the mainstream scholarship, these are the descriptions of these verses: when the sun is folded up, when the stars lose their light. Description of what?
The judgment day.
The judgment day, the doomsday. This is the mainstream scholarship. But in this class, we don't take it. Not because they are wrong, they may be right, none of my business, because in this class, it is our principle to read the Quran, to apply it here and now in my life. So, doomsday, there is no doomsday now, I don't care. That is not my business. What I care is what I am experiencing right now. So I have to read these verses as related to my real-time life right now. So I have to read the verses as guiding me or constructing my mindset to understand that the sun cannot sustain its existence as it is, because it has no power to do that, no quality to do that, number one. And the stars are the same, and the mountains are the same. They cannot really sustain their being. So we have to refresh or renew our understanding that these verses include the doomsday, but not necessarily these verses are concerned with the situation of the doomsday only, because in this class, as our principle, we emphasize on every moment is the doomsday. Yesterday is destroyed. 1 hour ago is destroyed. Now we are experiencing a new creation. So when we put it in this context, these verses make perfect sense as applicable to my practical life. Now, after saying that, after stating that, the world, this existing physical world cannot sustain its existence. It cannot sustain the qualities that they have. They are all given. Now the verse starts saying that, okay then, if you understand this, what is your, we were here, fourth, what is your pregnant camel? What does it mean? Pregnant camel is the most precious I said, for you. Now, everybody, we said last week, we said last week, everybody has a pregnant camel. Pregnant camel is the most promising value that I am hoping to have, to get to secure my future. So what is that? Everybody will have a pregnant camel. Yeah, I have a pregnant camel. You have a pregnant camel. Anyways, wanted to say something.
So you said precious, and then you said something that you would have hope from.
Yeah.
So those two don't necessarily need to be, I guess something could be precious to you, but you don't necessarily need to have hope from it. However, whatever you have hope from would have some sort of preciousness to you. So when it comes to the pregnant camel, are we saying it's something that aligns more along the lines of what I can derive hope from?
We can trust in. So you can lay your future in it, saying that, okay, if I get it, it seems to be I'm going to get it, and I am fine. So I'm secure. So we think I am secure, not in fact, because the pregnant camels are going to be abundant in this. So the second stage, up to this point, we studied last week actually. Now from this point onwards, think about your pregnant camel. A new job, new marriage, you are going to buy a new property, or you are going to develop a new profession, or whatever. Any expectations that you can rely in this world, saying that if I get it, I am done, right? If I get a new job, or if I had, for example, this position, I will be secured. Now that is the pregnant camel. Now we discussed this last week. Now the question is, when do you think you can abandon your pregnant camel? Because the Quran says, after saying that this universe is not stable, nothing can really preserve its existence by itself. They are fragile. They can be destroyed anytime. Nothing can prevent from being destroyed. The most obvious example is our own life. Nobody can protect his life, preserve his life. We all know that we are going to die. No one, nobody, whether you are a believer or not, regardless. You know that we are going to die. We cannot protect our existence as we are now. That's sure. Okay, then. Within these conditions, everybody has some sort of promising future, anything in their life to make sure that their future is going to be guaranteed, if only this person had this objective in his life. Okay. When do you think we can abandon? Under which conditions that we can abandon?
I think the only condition in which you can abandon your pregnant camel is when the thing that you are hopeful from is not of the nature of the universe, or not within the universe itself.
When you develop your hope But let's not go out of the universe. Okay, let's stay in the universe. Under which condition or conditions that the most precious thing is not precious anymore? So when your
own life, your own being is in danger, then you can abandon your precious
everything.
You can abandon it because you don't see
So
it.
you can really, it means when you realize that you cannot sustain your own life by yourself, then nothing else is important in the world. Even the most precious thing, you can just abandon it. So the verse is saying, oh, when, now come back. Are we okay here? Would you like to say something more? So when you realize that, let's put it in a very simple language. When I realize that I'm going to die in a minute, what matters for me? Nothing. Nothing matters. So I have forgotten my key for the house, or my deed for something, my position, or I am going to be late for the job, or no, I can't. I'm dying now. So we abandon it. Now, within the context of the previous 3 verses, now let's make it within the context of the sequence of the verses. Now, when the previous verses say everything is fragile, they are going to be destroyed, nothing, or they are destroyable, if you like. Is there such a word in English? They are destroyable. They cannot really preserve their being. So when we realize that nothing can sustain its existence, what we do, everything is transient, we never lay our hope in that, because it is going to be destroyed anyways. You abandon your pregnant camel, but not physically, or physically we are here in this world, but mentally, intellectually, your understanding, your perception of existence becomes very, very weak, very fragile, that you may have hope for something. Yes, you will work for it, you will struggle, you will strive to get this, but intellectually, you will know that, it is not the source of my security as far as my existence is concerned. You will abandon it intellectually. You will abandon it rationally, not physically. So you won't trust in that object, whatever the position you want to have, whatever the property or asset you want to have. You just abandon it intellectually. You of course, what you will do now, you will look for a source of security in your life. That is a human psychology. We have to analyze ourselves. We have to look at ourselves. We have to look for a point of reference where I can lay my trust in. That then, if you look for a reference, a point of reference, as you said, I cannot trust anything within this universe, really, but I need something to put my trust in? Where is it? What is it? Yeah, it should be not within the universe, because everything within the universe is not able to sustain its own existence anyways. When you realize this, yes, you have physical relationship with your job, with your whatever you have for your hope, for the future. You will prepare yourself, you will be physically engaging yourself with the objects, but you will also realize that this cannot be your source of security. That is how the Qur'an is really constructing our perception of existence, the world. That is beautiful. Now, the following verse. وَإِذَا الْوُحُوشُ حُشِرَتْ. When the wild beasts are gathered, what does it mean? Wild beasts represents what? To me, if you say that I can sustain my own life by myself, and I am powerful enough to protect my future, I am rich enough to guarantee my future. This is like wild beasts, because wild beasts do not live together like sheep. You know, sheep and ants, bees, domestic animals, they live in a community life. They support each other. But wild beasts, none of the wild beasts trust the other one. And everybody individual, they represent this. In every wild beast, individually takes care of its own life, his or her own life. So when do you think they get together? They gather. They become in a communities. It means they need each other's help now. Let's be together. When do you think?
Danger, in some dangerous situation like this.
Danger of what?
Like of their life. Like let's say there's a fire, then you see these beasts getting together. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, physically, but I don't think so. Any line will have not the family, but will combine, because they are their life is in danger. But it is a way of figurative speech. So where the wild beasts are gathered, it means that when you think that you are strong enough, rich enough, powerful enough, whatever, knowledgeable enough, maybe you have a very perfect profession and everybody looks for you, and you choose not to apply for a job, but they apply, they come to you when you do that. But when you realize that this position is not stable, it is fragile, again, it is not sustainable by itself. When you realize this, what you do now, you feel weak, you feel needy, and you need support from your environment, from others. So the only thing is possible for us to, again, as if we are abandoning the she camel, pregnant camel, We are abandoning the pregnant camel. And then we are abandoning our own trust within ourselves, or our trust in our assets and everything. What we need now? What shall we do? Then, can you help me? Look for other sources to support you. But this depends again on what? On your realization, on your intellectual realization of the transient, unstable nature of this creation. Again, the same thing. If you don't realize this, you trust in yourself. You trust your property, you trust your knowledge, you trust your profession, you trust your family backing, or you trust your bank account, whatever we do. But when we realize that the universe is not really stable by itself, and I cannot sustain my own existence and my own life, then what I do, I look for support from others and look for a source to support myself or my existence. Then the only way to secure my future is, what is the only way to secure my future, my existence, is to look for a source which is not within the, come on, complete the sentence, within the universe, within the universe, which is not within the universe, because everything in the universe consists of the same matter, and every matter has the same quality. They are dependent, they are subject to order, they have no free will, they have no power, they have no knowledge, they cannot really sustain their existence by themselves. It is very important to understand this. So even we don't know, 99% of the cosmos, but doesn't matter, they are the same nature, in the same nature. Whether you don't have to know, because they consist of the same particles, same matter, and there is no sign that they have consciousness or other qualities to sustain their existence. Another example is وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ سُجِّرَتْ, when the seas boil over. What does it mean? What do you make out of this? Come on, make your idea. When the seas boil over.
Does that mean that even the one place that might be a refuge from the fire that is going on elsewhere is now also not a refuge because even that is boiling over?
Now, what does the sea represent? Water? Water is the extinguisher. Yeah? Extinguish puts the fire off, right? But it itself now boils over and becomes a source of fire. What does it mean? Sorry?
It means like when the seasons disappear. Because it's just like it's gone and then there is no seas anymore.
When the sea disappears?
Down and clear, articulate, in an articulate way, speak, so I can understand.
No, I'm saying
my
like,
hearing is not really as yours.
okay. I'm saying like maybe when the seas disappear.
When the sea disappears.
So, boiling over, the sea doesn't, the description doesn't say the sea disappears. It turns its nature into opposite. But why the opposite? Instead of extinguishing the fire, it becomes the source of fire. Oh, what does it mean? No, everything is upside down, upside down. According to our perception, we think that the universe is stable. The order is stable. Everything perfectly functioning here. But in fact, they themselves cannot do this. It is not their nature. They are employed in this way. Otherwise, the universe itself cannot sustain its own existence. They cannot sustain its own order. It goes, it turns upside down, or just the opposite direction. It turns into opposite direction, opposite nature. No one can stay them, or not stay. No one can protect them. They cannot protect themselves. For example, who can guarantee that the water has to be as it is now? What can you bring up? What cause can you bring up that no, it doesn't? It is stable. It will be always like this. Is there any cause in the universe for the water or anything to be as it is, as we experience here? Is there any cause? Is there any reason? We give the, not only we, it's a very famous example. Is there any cause in the universe, in the matter, that the sun will rise tomorrow? The earth will revolve, continue to revolve? Is there any cause that we can show that the things will exist definitely tomorrow, but give me a cause? Give me a cause. Now, expectations, the way that we are used to, now, we have been living in this world for how many years? It is very regular. The order is preserved, and it is not destroyed. That is a accustomed way of observing or perceiving the world. But when we think about the nature of the creation, can we find any reason, any cause that the world will exist tomorrow because of this cause within the universe? We missed you for how many months? Okay, welcome. Okay, is there any cause? Everybody, whether they believe in God, they don't believe in God, regardless, all the people, believers and non-believers, atheists, philosophers, admit that there is no cause within the universe to make sure that the existence of anything will be tomorrow exactly like it is today. No one can show any cause within the universe. There is no cause. And the verse says, everything may turn into its opposite. You cannot find any source, any cause, any reason that it doesn't. This is an important confession by the atheist philosophers, not only the believing ones, atheist philosophers. There is no cause in the universe that the universe will be like today, tomorrow as well. It will be like today. It will be, I don't know how to say it in English. It will be tomorrow as it is today. There is no reason. Just because we are accustomed with this way of existence, we expect, we hope that it will happen tomorrow as it happened today, within the same order. Nothing can guarantee that the order of the universe will continue as it is today, tomorrow. Nothing. So the Quranic description of these contradictions, wild beasts become together and the seas become the source of fire. Why? Because there is no reason not to become. You see, the minds of the audience of the revelation is reconstructed in a way that I cannot trust this word. This word doesn't have to be as it is. And this word cannot sustain the very famous statement that we use in this class a lot. This word, nothing in this word can sustain its existence. So what's going on? If I cannot sustain my own existence, and the things, everything in the universe cannot sustain their existence, and how then their existence is being sustained? There's no reason in the universe that they will be sustained. The order will be sustained. The existence of the things will be sustained. There is no reason, but it is being sustained. How can you solve the problem? Contradiction. So you have to look for a source of sustainership. That there is a sustainer, but this sustainer is not within the universe. Definitely. This reconstruction of the minds of the audience is beautiful in order to teach us our reality, or the reality of this world, by the Quran. So I will repeat, there is no need to refer these verses to the last day, that when the destruction of the universe will take place. There is no reason. I don't see any reason at all. We are experiencing it right now. Okay? Shall we move on? Okay. Now, again, the training, if you like, the training of the human spirit is continuing now. How the human soul is attached to its origin. Now, continuing now. Who's going to read?
وَإِذَا النُّفُوسُ زُوِّجَتْ.
Now, they say nufus. Here, it is translated as, you know how to read?
Souls.
Yeah, read the translation of the word.
And when souls are reunited with the bodies.
Now, get together. The souls are reunited. Now, it is very interesting. We are here in this world. Our soul and our bodies are functioning together, right? Our soul is using the body as a means of communicating with the rest of the world. But our soul has the freedom or option to interpret this relationship with the universe, whether make sense of it or just don't think about it. But we are free to choose to think or not to think. Now, how do we live in this world? We see, we hear, we smell, we taste, we touch, and then interpret it, right? And is there any guarantee that my body, my tools, and my soul, the soul is using the body as its tools to communicate with the rest of the world and develop a kind of interpretation, understanding what is going on in this world, right? If we didn't have the body, do you think we would be able to communicate with this world? The soul itself alone, can the soul itself alone communicate with the world as it is, as this creation is? In these conditions of creation, we have to have the soul, sorry, body. So we are not bodies, we are not body, we are souls, but soul is acting through using the body. Now, when we realize that my body, my soul doesn't have to have the body, it can always be separated. Does it have to be together? But no one can guarantee that my soul and my body must be together tomorrow. No, we cannot. So what we do now, we have to understand the nature of our own existence. When we use our body to communicate with the universe, of course, our soul interprets the event, takes a stand. Which kind of relationship or which kind of meaning do I have in my relationship with the universe? So let's first separate the soul and the body and then unite them together, which means when our body and the soul is united in our understanding now, not necessarily that after I die, it is correct as well, because it is the reality that I definitely will die. There's no way to escape from it. Something is happening. Okay, I touched the wire here. No, I definitely will die. Okay, you don't have to die in order to experience this. Let's say that it is possible that I die now, isn't it? Isn't that possible? Okay. Ask the question now, what I have done through my body, using my body, what have I done? Unite them together and question, how did you utilize your body? How did you utilize your body? How did you use it? How did you, is your body, when you use your body, of course, the action of the body is not important. What is important? How the soul has interpreted this action. How did you interpret your actions yesterday? Let's unite it today. Let's say we died yesterday evening and we are resurrected this morning. Have you questioned what you have done yesterday? What did you do yesterday? Have you questioned? No, with your body? And how did you interpret it? How did you benefit from it? Let's unite it now. It is possible that we die anytime. The question it again, because after the resurrection, the same thing will happen. After the resurrection, you will be asked, what did you do with your body? How did you use it? How did you benefit from it? How did you interpret it? Which kind of conclusions you arrived? What did you do with it? Now, unite your body, your soul with your body and question it. How did you use it? You can do it now, because definitely we will die, and definitely we will be taken into account what we have done with our body, because body is transient, the tools are transient, but our soul is eternal, looks for eternity, looks for the permanent existence. Body cannot look for permanent existence. That is why body is fragile, but soul is firm, or it is, how do you say? Not like body. My body changes, but my soul doesn't change. It doesn't mean that I don't educate my soul, but my soul is of the nature of the laws. This is what I mean. The application of the laws are temporary, but the laws are constant. So my body is transient, my soul is constant in it. So I have to come back to my usage of the body, what I have done before. So now I will question myself, what I have done with my body, using my body, and how did I interpret it, which kind of conclusions I reached through my interaction with the rest of the universe. So in the hereafter, when we are resurrected, the same thing will happen. Do I have to wait until I die in order to take myself into account? Ask what you have done last year, what you have done last month, what you have done yesterday, what did you do yesterday? Ask yourself. And how did you utilize your body? Ask them. Of course, they will be united. The body and the soul will be united, and you will get ready for it. Because we are not living in this world only as a soul. Do we? In this existence, in this type of creation, we don't live in this world as only as souls. But we don't live in this world only as bodies either. They are together. Why do you think they are together? Because the soul utilizes the tools, the body, and communicate with the universe and interprets what it means for me and reaches a conclusion. So what did you read? For example, you can, maybe for 10 seconds, we can think, what did I do yesterday? Which kind of life I lived yesterday? And what was my conclusion as a result of my communication with the universe through using my body? It may be 10 seconds. It's not very promising, my life. So you can really unite your body and soul by or through reflections. You can do that, inshallah. It is very useful and it is very helpful. People say we have to get rid of course, religious rhetoric. Always said we have to get ready for the hereafter. Yeah, do you hear this? Huh? How am I going to get ready for the hereafter? There are various ways. For example, have you done your religious duties? Yeah, it's one way. But in this class, what we do, we concentrate on your consciousness, your belief. So we don't say, have you prayed or not? Doesn't matter. In this class, it matters, but in this class, the way we follow the reasoning, what did you do with your life yesterday? How did you utilize yourself yesterday? You ask this question to yourself and you will understand. Not necessarily, I'm not asking the question, have you prayed yesterday 5 times without missing any prayer? No, I'm not asking this. Which kind of conclusions you reached as a result of your communication with the universe through using your body? That's a completely different question. What kind of question, what kind of conclusions you reached? For example, let's say I ate food. Well, I didn't steal it. Yeah, it was halal food. Zabiha. Yeah. So it's all right. No, I'm not interested in zabiha or in this class, but don't misunderstand. Out of this class, you can be interested in zabiha, whatever you call it. But in this class, when you ate the food, what kind of state of mind you had? What kind of perception of the event you had? Now you can do that. You can question this. And I think who has the brightest answer to this? And then, oh yeah, I was very conscious of everything I did, or most of the things I did yesterday through using my body. Any promising answer? No. It is saying that, look, your body and soul will be united and you will be taken into account for your life within the type of the creation that you are experiencing here. Never forget, you cannot really separate them. Some people, there is no need to mention the names or titles. Some people say, your spirit is important. I am a spiritual aware person. Yeah, some people forget about this side of human beings, say, I'm going to satisfy my body. But they don't say my body, they say, I'm going to satisfy myself. But they mean only body, right? But under the advice of this verse, what we are expected to do, we have to unite. We cannot say that we are only, we can, for example, believe in God and, how do you say, have a good intention, etc. But you have to act with your body because you are acting with your body. So, for example, when it comes to eating, for example, it's a very practical example, eating. When you say, oh, okay, well, body is not important, I'm not going to eat. I believe in God, and I put my trust in God. He will satisfy me. Who says this? You go and eat, huh? Yeah, you are together. You have to eat, but when you eat, what do? You interpret this action. What was your conclusion when you ate your dinner or breakfast, whatever, lunch? What was your conclusion? What did you get out of it? Now, this is the question we have to ask. Now, we are coming to a very sensitive subject. Okay.
وإذا الموءودة سئلت.
Continue.
بأي ذنب قتلت.
Now, this is a very important subject. Again, the traditional, conventional scholarship understands this generally. Understands this word, these two verses, as when the girl buried alive Maw'uda, buried alive, is asked. What does it mean? A girl, a female being, buried alive. What does it mean? How can you bury a female being alive? How do you do that?
I mean, in, like young babies were killed like historically.
No, that's tradition.
Oh no.
Tradition doesn't work. Now, we say the people used to do that. Have you seen any, let's say, in Manhattan, any person who's atheist burying young girl alive? Why do you talk about it?
No, I mean,
There is no example.
okay.
No. I'm not accusing you.
Oh.
I am criticizing the traditional as understanding the Quran here and now is concerned. In history, it might have happened in occasional cases that some tribes and some of the people, men, buried a baby, a girl baby, but I don't think it happens now. It is not taking place. And as far as I am concerned, I never buried a baby alive because the baby was a girl. No, it doesn't bother me anymore. Right? No, we should be comfortable. How can you bury a female being alive while she's living? Now, not after she dies, no. How can you bury it?
I think this is referring to little ones when they have questions and we sort of shut them down.
But female, yeah, that is correct and it's beautiful. But female, I have been thinking about it, taking it out of its historical context and trying to apply it to my present day life. The only thing came to my mind, any female being, especially living being, may be reduced to reproduction only, nothing else, as if they are not human beings. When they are living in this world, regarding the female beings for reproduction only, especially in this century, females are used for what? Yeah, exploiting their femininity. Yep. They may themselves, not necessarily that they are exploited by men, they themselves exploit their femininity and reduce themselves to a feminine being. They call it object of sex or desire or lust. Make themselves, do you understand? Not necessarily somebody else will bury them alive. They use their femininity in order to impose themselves on others and then, look at me, admire me, desire me, and reduce their femininity or being a feminine creature, being only for lusts, ambitions. Do you understand that? Yeah. Now it is very interesting. A parent may reduce the daughter to, for example, can you bury the daughter in what? In the house, in the kitchen, in this house chore? Yeah? You do that. You do this. This is traditional, right? You are only for this. Not they may not treat the daughters as human beings, as responsible as the males. But at the same time, I see nowadays not only not tribe, what was the word? Rural areas, in rural areas, they may have the understanding that girls are just for the householding and also to reproduce. It means give birth to children or whatever. That's it. Look after. When the baby is born, what happens? Mother is sorry? No. Mother is assigned to look after the baby, and that's it. That's it. But there are many problems there, anyways. But at the same time, what I understand from it, the baby girl or the female creatures, female beings, are treated as if they are not fully human beings. They are not responsible for understanding, interpreting, learning, questioning as much as the boys are. But this is fading away. We have to be aware of that. But this attitude is fading away. Is it true?
Yes.
That it's becoming less and less and less. Yeah? Right or wrong?
I think so.
You think so? How about others?
In some parts.
Yeah, but it is still, but fading away slowly. What is replaced in it? Yeah, what is replaced in it? Women, the girls or the female beings are used as a means of
Breadwinner.
sorry?
Breadwinner, like to make.
No.
It's like
Not, but as
The type of
they are killed. Sorry.
The kind of exploitation is changing.
Yes. So they may not use. I mean, in Islamic setting they have to, but in a non-Islamic setting they may not use themselves as a proper, perfect human being, but attract attention. In this sense, not another person is burying the baby girl alive. They themselves bury themselves alive. It means while full-fledged human being, they make themselves as just object of attraction. And pay attention to, let's say, rather than reading and understanding and questioning, maybe engaging with the intellectual activities, what they do, they just pay attention to make themselves more and more attractive by the opposite sex or by among themselves also, not necessarily by the boys. They may compete with each other as well. So we have to be very careful. So the following verse is, we have some 7 minutes. What crime she was, for what crime she was killed. So it is again historically might have happened in some places, and it is a local business, local event, but for the moment, why do you kill yourself? Why do you kill yourself as a human being while you are alive? Why don't you, ask the women and girls should ask the question to themselves, am I not a full human being responsible for my all human qualities as much as a boy is, or a man is, a male is. What you are here, you are doing that, mashallah. I appreciate this. But most of the time, women are using themselves as if they are not really intellectually as developed as the men are, so they reduce their being, their life, to certain activities which does not read, I'm not talking about profession, which does not read more intellectual activity. We have to do that. So you don't like this.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the way that you've explained these last two verses. I agree with your general conception that yes, there's objectification, and women can generally upon themselves be part of this objectification and perpetuate it, and there's not much intellectual engagement. Couple of things. One, if you're not reading anything in the Quran literally, the feminine or the girl aspect is very literal in this one, in the way that we've interpreted it. Two, because I was looking for a metaphor in what femininity represents to humanity, or what does masculinity, femininity, two different sort of opposing, like two different but equal things represent.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, what do the men and women think about reading this verse? Does it not apply to you? Like,
no.
Is this only applying to this half of the room? Like, because the way that we're interpreting this is very specifically to how women were treated as, you know, in the case of being buried alive, and then treating themselves.
Yeah. This is the tendency. This tendency is observed and seen on the female side more, especially not necessarily that men don't have any weak points. No, we have as well. We have as well. But especially women look at the attraction. Why do we do that? Why do we need to do that? Why do we kill ourselves while we are fully human beings living in this world?
In today's age, in this society, men are equally not worried, but concerned about their attraction and their bravado and like their machismo in being able to attract women.
Yeah.
The common conception you had for a man in that situation is him being a player, right? That's
him being
like, you know, like an object of Casanova, like an object of attraction, right? And in the conception or the perception we have in that situation is like, whoa, it has to do something with the strength. Whereas a woman being surrounded around a man has to do with her, you know, contriving this lust and desire. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if this is. I think there's a metaphor there. There's a more universal message than just saying female.
What I understand, femininity should not be exploited. Femininity should not be exploited. The metaphor may refer to this. I'm trying to understand it. I don't guarantee that I've got the last word about it. So somebody wants to ask a question again. That's a good point.
Kind of
Thank
like
you.
Bouncing off what you're saying, like, kind of one thing that I took was that I know we're not supposed to go too traditional, but because we kind of have referenced it to say that maybe girl means somebody that is thought not to be useful or a liability. So maybe that can represent something like someone who's thought to be a liability in some way or something. So like we're having this discussion about like, is attraction a liability, or how do people objectify themselves, or how are they reacting? But what I'm kind of reading is like, this person was killed for being a liability, but at the end of time, that person is asked, why were you killed? As in they have to answer, because these people thought of me as a liability, and that the thing is in the fact that that happens. And I kind of read it as about history, like, because like Yom Qiyamah, like the fact that we rise means that history becomes like we are reunited with our souls, so we can tell how things happened while we were here. We don't tell them from a different perspective, and then we say when you were here what happened to you, and you get an honest answer, which might not. Otherwise, that girl buried alive would never have would not have the voice to give the answer of like, this is what happened to me. So that's kind of how.
Make it here and now.
So
and
if I am somebody
I try to understand.
If I am somebody who feels that I am being oppressed in some way, and that I might not have my voice be heard now because I'm oppressed, or if I'm killed for some reason unjustly, or something happens to me and my voice is not heard, Allah is promising me that somebody will ask me what happened at a later time.
So I didn't get the last part of it.
Allah is promising me that
God is promising
me.
Sorry.
God is promising me that I will be asked what happened.
No.
Like if I'm being oppressed, then I'm being promised in this ayah that Allah will ask me, Creator will say what happened to you.
Right now, not will. Right now. Not Allah, God will ask you. Right now, what is happening? As a woman or as a man? Are you burying yourself alive? It means your humanity, not using it, not utilizing.
Buried herself alive.
Yeah.
No.
Was buried and then.
No. Now when the girl buried alive.
Yeah, she was buried alive.
Oh no. Not necessarily. You can bury yourself. You can kill yourself. You can commit suicide. And also somebody, your parents may say, look, to cook. That's it. That's your duty. You have to take care of the house chore. That's it. That's your duty. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but in the next ayah says for what crime she was killed. So buried alive, then she was killed, right?
No, not necessarily that by somebody else. You can kill yourself. That's what I'm thinking. And also, it is valid for men as well. For example, nowadays, men think of only getting the best profession, making the highest income. That is also burying. That is also burying themselves alive. But it's a universal message. We have to make it universal as much as we can. I'm trying to understand this. These are.
Just one quick thing. Though you're saying refer to your immediate immediate environment to get reference, right?
Now,
yeah. So, yeah, the now. So for me, when you say a woman is I feel there's an oversimplification here when we say that women exclusively the way in which they bury themselves, which I understand the metaphor here is to bury one's humanity with something.
That's
to
it.
Oversimplify it and say that women bury their humanity through an excessive of self-objectification. Don't feel really that applies to everyone. And then to say that men bury themselves to an excess through career exclusively is also an oversimplification. That all we're doing on this planet is men are worried about profession and women are worried about makeup.
So
I think it needs to be a little bit more.
So oversimplification. What is the way we can make out of this verse, which is applicable for men and women at the same time?
Burying your humanity through some sort of worldly pursuit.
Yes.
Whether it's a nice skirt or a job or a nice gelled hair, whatever. I don't know. So it's they're just saying the oversimplification. You're saying to refer to our immediate world. My immediate world, none of that doesn't apply at all. That's what I'm trying to say. That there needs to be like a more nuanced, more universal sense definition of that.
Let's make it together.
This one, burying your humanity through a worldly excess.
Yeah. So why did you do that? The second question, what crime she was killed, for what crime she was killed. It means, why did you do that?
Yeah, why did you do this to yourself?
So
you could have
bury your humanity, bury your qualities, human qualities, while you are alive and while you can benefit from it.
Yeah, like why did you do this to yourself when you had the opportunity to marry your soul and your body together and to communicate with the universe?
Yeah.
But then why does it
Good
always say
point.
girl?
Thank you.
But why does it
Now,
always say girl and not boy as well?
the one, no, without, so you, yeah.
I think maybe I
The new ones, yeah.
Oh, okay. So just referring back to like renewing our context of this speech, like the speech claims to speak to my consciousness, which is neither associating with my physical body. So like within the nature of like the speech itself, it's claiming to speak to my consciousness.
Yeah.
So then if I remember that reference point, then I'm not going to just strictly, like the sister was saying, like take the words for their bodily interpretations, but more of like the qualities that they refer to, like the metaphor that she was saying. So then what came to me was like, okay, the girl, clearly this word is being used to bring my attention to particular qualities. And then so, you know, then if we think of a girl, for example, our experience of seeing a little baby girl, whether in a class or whatever, you know, like there's some sort of qualities that we witness or feel or receive some sort of information, some sort of feeling when we witness a girl. So whatever that quality is or that feeling is absent of the physical body, but it's like a precious quality or some sort of gentle quality or some sort of something that is being buried alive, that I think both males and females who are living in these bodily interpretations right now can experience some sort of burying of some sort of precious or original quality that I can witness when I see and smile at a baby girl, for example.
So not necessarily the girl, but as what? Sorry, Emma.
Yeah.
Emma said it was a beautiful comment. Thank you. It helped me. Your human qualities are buried while they are alive. It means you have never used them. You didn't utilize them. Yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that, but then, you know, somebody pointed out at the back that we're still dealing with girl, right? I'll take it a step back, saying we came from already, the previous verse talked about a binary in a way of the soul and the body.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about it being different and being united.
Yeah.
Similarly, I do believe that in every if she's talking about humanity,
yeah,
I will say that in every human there is a mix of masculinity and femininity.
Yes.
Physical or not physical, it doesn't really matter, right? It's about whatever however you see it within you. The reference then I can draw from that relationship that a body and a soul, a day and a night, existence, non-existence, whatever these, you know, two sorts of like, you know, binaries that we have, they all have a relationship with each other though. And they exist at the same time, they exist separately. Just like the body and the soul exist at the same time, but they also exist separately.
Also, they have their individual beings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Day and night are different, but we really don't know when day becomes night. You know, there's like a very fine sort of like gradation into it. Similarly, within it could have said boy, but maybe the culture at the time also we have to account for it, but remove it.
Yeah.
Right. It could have said anything, but I think putting girl there or just saying one side of the humanity, maybe talking about something within us that we don't see, that we may not, through our social conditioning, may not be privy to, may not recognize, may assume, and it's about uncovering. Yeah, it's about uncovering a part of yourself that you.
But we cannot
may not
say
understand the relationship with.
No, as Emma said, or the friend. I will say I don't want to use the word sister. You know. The girl, the friend, it said behind. So I don't know her name. Whatever we have to universalize it, but we cannot say that there is something that we don't know. No, we have to know, because we cannot claim that we understood and grasped the whole meaning of the verse, but at the same time, if the verse, my creator is speaking to me about something that I don't know, is meaningless. I have to make some sense of it, yeah? But apart from this point, your point is really helpful and helps us to clarify it. We have to stop the last comment. If somebody, would you like to? Yeah.
I actually have a question about the souls. Just backtracking a bit. Yes. Yeah. About the 7th verse. So, from what I gather from the verses that we've read so far, they work from the human perspective, and correct me if I'm wrong, from the human perspective of what we observe, so as to show that the nature of creation is not stable and is subject to change. Correct? So, for example, we observe the stars, but it's stating about the stars losing their light, about the mountains moving, about the sea boiling. So what I'm wondering is, when I mean, starting from just my human observations, I observe that the soul and body are already united right now in this state of existence. Yeah. Whereas when it says, and when the souls are reunited, as if they are the starting point, the basis is a point of separation to being united. Does that sort of make sense? I mean, it's starting from a state of existence that I don't observe right now. Like, I don't observe just my soul right now. I observe my body and my soul united already. Yeah. But it's saying that the souls are reunited. So why? What I'm wondering is, since for all the other verses, it's starting from a point of an experience that I can currently in my existence observe, working to a state that I haven't observed yet, such as seas boiling, etc.
I tried to understand this. I said, we can only understand this. You can take yourself into account by reuniting your body and soul relationship, what you did yesterday. Do you remember? We emphasized on it. You can reunite them today. For example, say that, what did I do with my body? Which kind of conclusions I reached? Do you remember? We said that means you're intellectually, you have to question yourself so that you can get ready for the new creation, so that you will be ready. So I am wasting my time. I am not really doing what I am expected to do. So in this sense, I try to understand the verse. Otherwise, you cannot really say that after I will die, I will live. It's not valid for me now. It is not really.
So can it be
practical.
Said that if I'm in a state where I do not account for the actions of my body and how they pertain to my soul, then they are in a state of separation until, by reflecting on how my soul interprets my actions, they become reunited.
United, yeah. Okay. That's what I meant. Okay, the last comment, because we are really late for the prayer. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. So, I don't understand why we necessarily have to think of it outside of gender, because when I see the girl buried alive is asked for what crime she was killed, I think of it more as an indictment on people who watched a girl being buried. Like, it doesn't say a woman, like other parts of the text say. It specifically says a girl, and we can consider her a young girl. Yeah. And so I think that it speaks more to the, like, if here and now, like if say like right outside of this building, we saw a young girl buried alive, and she herself is asked for what crime she was killed, like and then the records are displayed, there might be something wrong with the law that says that she committed a crime. There might be something wrong with the witnesses who saw that she was buried alive. Like, and I think that it becomes more, like, if you're looking at a metaphor, an indictment upon a society that punishes a girl for being a girl, and less an indictment upon the girl herself. But we could look at it as her burying herself alive. But even still, like, I think that I look more at 81.9 and 81.10 that are saying when asked for what crime she was killed, and when the records are displayed, it being more a question of justice and less a question of wrongdoing. If that makes sense.
I would go along with I would go along with Emel's comment, and the friends are up there together, and also here with the comment to make it a universal guidance applicable to everyone, because these verses are going to be read by men as well,
right?
And that we will apply it, not necessarily a local event there. Make it personal, your own problem. Am I burying my human qualities while I am alive in this world?
Yeah, that's not separate from self. Like I mean, the thing is that I think that it's interesting because when souls are reunited with bodies, there's a question of bodies don't exist. Like maybe I'm alone sometimes, and I'm alone, like my soul in my body. But even right now, like we're in a room full of bodies. Like it can't be it can be an individual experience, but still have to deal with a community, especially if you're talking about the end of time. Like you're talking about like individuals that exist like within communities that exist in this thing, a world.
We said we shouldn't reduce these verses to the end of time. Make it practical right and now. Well, that is the principle of reading the Quran in this class, how to read the Quran for here and now and apply it to myself. That's why we don't go there. It doesn't mean that we deny that. No. Make it alive. I think we have to stop. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. But it was very beautiful, engaging, and also contributing. I was very happy. Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. We will continue like this, alive, inshallah. Thank you.